I don't. I mean, I'm worried about prison right now, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm worried about prison.
That's fair.
Oh, that's good. It's muted too. All right.
Yeah.
At least we don't hear the echo.
Yeah,
you should be fine.
all right.
Marissa,
all right.
thank you.
I'll be in my head
see
helping
it.
deal with this
Chop it up.
situation for a little bit, Chad.
No problem. Thank you. All right.
Chad, she sent you a link. Oh, what you can put on the TV.
Where? Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Copy.
Got
I'm
you.
gonna ask.
And where would you like me at?
Tell me what happened. So I understand, Mr. Miller. The retainer fee for me to represent you, but I just want to let you know, so that you're aware. Even though he's paying me, you're my client. You understand that?
Got you.
So whatever you say goes. Well, doesn't matter who's paying the bill, since you're the client and you're the one who I'm to do what you want me to do it, so long as it's within my rules of ethics and my legal bounds. So you'll tell me what happens. So now, next thing is, I need you to be honest with me with everything, because essentially we have attorney-client privilege. What that basically means is, as your lawyer, why I wanted to have this conversation behind closed doors, because if we have that conversation in the public, our conversation has been deemed now made said that you said could be used against you. You then waive that privilege because you had that conversation in public rather than in private. So that's why I wanted to have the conversation behind closed doors, so that you're not waiving that privilege. All right.
I got you.
Now I'm going to tell you, what your options are after you told me. Not every case is the same. Not every scenario is the same. Things are going to be different depending on the scenario. But just to get some context, you said your name is Tony. Is it
Tony,
short
Tony
for
Savage.
Is it short for Anthony, or is it Tony with a Y, Tony with the E, with the I?
Tony with a Y, man. Tony with a Y, yeah. Tony, and last name is Savage.
Okay. Savage, correct?
GE, that's correct. Yep.
All right. And it sounds like it's an immigration thing. So, were you born in the United States or not?
No, I was not, man. But my boss over here got me a working visa, which he's sponsoring almost everything for me until it's time to go back home. But in the meantime, I mean, just like they say, I thought I was legal because I still have my wife and kids and everybody back home, man. I'm trying to take care of them. Whenever I get this check, man, I just pay some bills and send the money back home.
I understand. Let me ask you this: where's home?
Home is all the way
in Sandy Shores, unless you're talking about
Sandy
home
Shores
country.
No, yeah, it's out of country. Like where you were. Yeah. Because you said you have your. So is that what you mean when you say at home? Your wife and kids are at home. You mean outside?
Oh no,
this country?
not here. No, outside the country.
Yeah. So where in the country were you? Where were you born outside of? Obviously.
I'm all the way from South Africa, man.
Okay, South Africa. Okay, and how old is your child?
My child's like 6. I actually have multiple, so I have like 3.
Okay.
1,
all
6,
right, so 3 kids.
9, and 12, man.
Okay.
Whenever you get a chance,
well,
you look at
you were busy in between those couple of years or so, so I get it. Mr. Miller, so you got a work visa for him, so you basically sponsored him. What does he do for you here in the States?
Currently he manages the farmland. I have 2 other plots of land that he's responsible for ensuring that the crops grow and harvest time, and then we go ahead and we pack it up and distribute it to restaurants across the state.
Okay, now when you pay him, do you pay him in cash, check, weekly, monthly? What's the pay scale?
I pay every 2 weeks, and we do cash, Because currently, because it's his work visa, he hasn't gotten the social security number from the IRS yet.
Yeah, we
So
still
that's
wait.
what
We
we're
still
waiting.
waiting on the process.
And I
Yeah.
have copies
Okay.
of all his documentation and everything listed here. So everything that we sent, I have copies here as well.
Okay. So if it's fair to say, then whatever money he's taking in is not being taxed, right?
Not
I
at the
have
moment.
I have been withholding some of it, just you know,
Right.
for that reason, so that
Right. Very
whenever
smart.
he
Okay.
does get it, you know, he can be it can be paid immediately, you know. And I
Okay.
have records of the withheld taxes and everything.
Okay.
I know my boss take care of me, man.
I mean, listen, you got a good one, so I can understand why you'd be afraid to go to jail and lose out on basically this opportunity that you have in the United States to earn the American dream. So I understand it is a sensitive situation, a sensitive topic, but it is something that has been happening relatively recent. So it's unfortunate, that you got caught up in this net of this situation. But as your lawyer, I'm going to do everything that I can to vigorously represent you to the best that we can with what we have and what we're facing. So I'm going to do everything that I can, which is why I'm asking you some of these preliminary questions when it comes time for me to make any motions, file any petitions on your behalf for your ability to continue to remain in the state, and then I'll go into why this all possibly happened and how it came about.
I got you.
You said you're here on a work visa. How long have you been here, living here? Let me ask you this: when did you first come here?
Probably about what? It's been about a year and a half, boss. I mean, we start the process. We're waiting on the social security. I mean, all I know is everything was in progress so far. So I don't have all my papers yet, but I know they know I'm here.
What happened is that your work
That link.
realistically could be anywhere from 2 years to 5 years, which is why I asked you how long you've been here for. So I think you may have been off with the calculation. You had to have been here at least, if you're doing this kind of capacity, for maybe 2 to 3 years, over that,
2 years, yeah.
for it to expire. So
I
what
got you.
happens is
I'll be
once
back.
your work visa has expired,
No, but I'm here already. I'm here already. I mean, we're just working on.
I got it.
All right, we're having a confidential meeting, so
I think
You
somebody
have
here
to
for
wait.
you.
Don't get run
all
over.
right, hold on. Figure out who it is. Who
Yo,
is this?
Is that?
Buenos días, amigos, ¿cómo están hoy?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
in San Andreas for this work.
Got you.
So how did this all come about? Just to give you some context, anytime somebody who is not a U.S. citizen comes into this country by
Your mic is
whatever means they have,
thing. Katrina.
by whatever means they have to the government has to have documentation that they are here lawfully, whether it be a work visa, asylum, a visa. That work visa allows you to come into the United States and to come into San Andreas to be able to work, but after you're going to be here forever.
No, but I thought since I'm already here, I mean, we already processing the papers. Why do I need to go back? Like,
Unfortunately, that's how the government works.
I don't even
If
have
they
enough money to even fly over there and come back.
Yeah,
Because I
and
still
a lot
gotta
of
work.
people face that is the dilemma that a lot of people face, which is the
No, but I
financial
thought since I'm
aspect
already
about it.
here, I
I
mean,
got
you're
money.
already processing the papers. Why do I need?
And they want to have a better life. And agencies that do assist individuals status, permanent resident. A bit later on. So the reason that it appears that ICE is a police agency, however, they are a federal agency. Their main goal is to basically they hunt down individuals who are not here legally, right? So they're almost like bounty hunters, if to make it simple for you. So they're a bounty hunter, and because you're not here, they can scoop you up. The only way a government agency or entity can scoop up your body is through a judge giving them permission to do that, which is a Fourth Amendment thing. They can seize your body and take you in. Your being here in the States is a civil matter.
About saying who's not here legally.
Who's not here legally?
That's what he just said. He said ICE is they're tracking down people who are not here legally.
Intimidating, and a lot of people think that, but it is very much civil in nature. Well, then you're saying, well, Geo, if it's civil, why do they have guns? Why do they have masks? Why are they police cars? Because think about it. If you're here and this is your life, it's possible that somebody may want to take violence against them so that they can maintain their freedom here, just like any other police officer, right? So that's why they have the gear that they have. You do have rights here, as the simple fact that you're on U.S. soil, you have rights automatically. Not every single type of right, like a right to vote or anything, but you do have certain rights, such as to medicine, medical care, things like that, right? So we'll kind of go through what those are. So the agent that I spoke to, they basically said you have an ICE detainer. An ICE detainer is signed by a judge, but it is an administrative judge. It is very different than an arrest warrant or a search warrant in that matter. So what that means is that warrant or that detainer allows them to take your body so that you can be processed and or kicked out of the United States. It doesn't allow them to come into your home. It doesn't allow them to search you. It doesn't allow them to do any of those things. I know you said that you had video of your encounter.
Yeah,
ICE
I have it on
agents,
Birdie.
Okay, good. ICE agents can encounter you in a public arena, anywhere that's public, which is why I said if you were to come to my office, it would be a risk for you, because then you're exposing yourself out into the public. And once you put yourself out in public, you then become fair game for them to scoop you up. Right? So what does that mean? ICE cannot just simply stop an individual, cannot just simply stop you and ask you for your name, ask you for an ID or anything like that. Under the law, they have to have reasonable suspicion that you are somehow violating an immigration law. And what does that look like? That can be based on a photo they have of you, paperwork that they have of you saying that your time here expired or you came here illegally, anything like that. That would allow them to go up to you, approach you, and ask you for information such as your name, to either verify who you are, look at your ID, things like that, to verify if you are in fact the person they're looking for. They have a little bit more leeway. Most recently, in Los Angeles, the U.S. Supreme Court allowed ICE agents to go around and basically stop individuals if they look or appeared that they were committing some immigration breaking of the law, such as maybe based on the way they look, based on the way that they're acting, even the language that they speak. That can be a grounds for that. The only way we can really challenge all of these things and figure out whether or not these things are lawful or not is to bring them to court. And those are the ways that case law is made, by challenging things and bringing things to the court. Right now, the Supreme Court right now has said, at least in Los Angeles, not everywhere else, just in Los Angeles, that this is a thing that ICE agents can do. It hasn't spread to all of the other states, including this state, but it is something that they can do. If they took your property, which it sounds like you said they did.
Yeah, they stole my ID, man.
That's an unlawful seizure of your property. Whether or not they intended to keep it or they took it by accident and forgot to return it to you, that is a means by which it is an unlawful seizure of your property. You do have some recourse. It's not really much recourse, but if we challenge this in an immigration court, an immigration proceeding, we can possibly get other things thrown out if it's found that they unlawfully approached you, unlawfully seized you, and unlawfully took your property. Your civil remedy would be to sue the government for damages, monetary damages for taking your property. The way that you would get your ID back, unfortunately, is that you would either have to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles or the local embassy so that they can issue you a new ID, but that's going to cost money. I'm not sure what it is exactly now.
When I got my ID, that's when all my papers were legal. But now that, I kind of overstay, I can't even get a new ID now.
So now, unfortunately, to your point, they're not going to be able to give it to you. I'm just telling you, like, if this was something that happened, if you, your status was still within the bounds of the paperwork of your time here, that is an option that you would have. Technically, you don't have legal status here. They're not going to issue you an expired ID to say, okay, here's your ID, because it means nothing at that point because it's expired.
Gotcha.
So your only recourse now would be possibly maybe asylum or any other relief that is going to issue you immigration status.
Asylum? What you mean by that? Asylum.
Basically, you're saying that there's something happening in your country that is going to allow you for that, because then everybody and their mother would come in and say, I'm feeling persecuted, I have violence, and I want to get away, just so that they can come to the United States, right?
Gotcha.
So those are what you have, right? They can't just come in and search you. And again, I haven't looked at the video. I don't know what they said, what happened, but that is also unlawful. Your recourse is essentially civil liability. If they are looking to use, let's say you had a gun on you and they unlawfully searched you and they're charging you with a gun, that gun may get suppressed as fruit of the poisonous tree, which basically means if the government searched you or did something to you unlawfully, whatever they find on you that's illegal becomes tainted. Kind of like an apple. When an apple starts to rot, if it's connecting or touching another apple, all the other apples start to rot the same. It's a similar situation.
Gotcha.
With that. But in your situation, it doesn't sound like you had anything illegal. It just sounds like it was just your ID. So in that sense, it would be more so civil liability that you would have for your recourse.
Gotcha.
Anytime you encounter ICE agents, you don't have to answer them. You can remain silent. You can ask for an attorney. That is one of the rights that you have simply on the fact that you're on U.S. soil. I'm
they were
happy
asking
that
a lot of questions, man.
I know, and you don't have to answer them. Whether it was, what's your name?
No, but they arrest me when I stop answering them. They put the cuffs on.
Right. That's an unlawful. That can be deemed to be an unlawful detainment, right? Because here's the thing: if they knew who you were at the time that they detained you, they would have taken you away. What it sounds like is that they took your ID, ran your ID, and then came to see you were illegal. If we can prove that the unlawful seizure of your ID was unlawful, we can possibly seek to get, them detaining you to be deemed unlawful as well. Because again, fruit of the poisonous tree. But that's going to have to be a court proceeding that we have to go through in order to prove that. Because if they had you and they knew who you were, and they, looked at your name, or they should have run your name, they would have kept you in custody and not released you. But for them now to say that you're a fugitive, in a sense, they are legally correct, but not to that extent where you're running away from them or anything. You just happen to be here. That doesn't make you a fugitive. Here. I know. I understand. And it doesn't make you a fugitive. So please don't take what they said at face value that you're a fugitive. You are by no means a fugitive just because you are here.
Gotcha.
Do you have any questions so far from what we're discussing?
No, I'm listening, man. I'm learning a lot.
Okay. So you do have a right for due process. Basically, that means you can go to a judge so that they can hear your case. And listen to your grievance so that they can issue that relief that I spoke
But
about, whether it's
how do I
asylum.
know they're not going to arrest me at the courthouse, though?
That's the problem. That is the risk. And
So I
what's
have to
been
take that
happening,
risk.
it's a risk. And here's the thing I can tell you. As a lawyer, I can't tell you whether or not you should take that risk or not. I've seen it where I've gone to immigration court. Families are going for a legal proceeding. Whatever happens with that proceeding, whether or not the case gets dismissed, whether or not it gets continued or adjourned, the moment that that individual steps out into a hallway, technically they're fair game for ICE to detain them. So some individuals, I have some clients who I've told, your court date is coming up. You have to meet me there. They've told me, I hear you, Mr. Hendricks, but I'm not going to risk it until maybe
Okay.
I get my family situated financially or something. I can't go in there knowing that I'm not going to see them again. And I don't have them financially situated, because that is a possibility nowadays.
Got you.
Because it's not happening in the courtroom. The judge can say, okay, Mr. Savage, your case will be heard in 2 weeks. Come back. We're going to hear from the government. We're going to hear from Mr. Hendricks. But the moment way, if ICE is there, they can legally take you because they have that detainer for your body to take your body and seize you because you're here illegally so that you can go through deportation hearings.
I got you. I also have one of my neighbors that the kids are scared to go to school because they feel like they're gonna get picked up at school too, man.
It's unfortunate, right? But some jurisdictions have what they call are deemed to be a sanctuary city. So, for example, where I'm from in New York, they're deemed to be a sanctuary city, which means that the government doesn't help ICE figure out where you are. So, let's say
Okay.
your kid goes to school, ICE goes there and says, "Hey, is Mr. Savage? Does he have a kid there?" The school has no obligation to answer them. If let's say
Gotcha.
you're arrested by local police for whatever reason, let's say you're
Mhm.
drunk driving or you're there for a domestic violence case, and ICE says, hey, by the way, do you have Mr. Savage in your custody? The local police are under no obligation. They are actually required not to answer and assist ICE. They can't even tell them that you're here or in your custody.
Gotcha.
They can't give any information about you, but that's going to be depending on the jurisdiction that you're in. Not every state is a sanctuary city. So that means that those local government agencies, those police officers, they can tell ICE, all right, we can't tell you a lot of information, but we can tell you that this is where he lives, or his last address, or his fingerprints, things like that. It depends on the jurisdiction. In this jurisdiction, I don't believe in San Andreas. They're obligated to give you information, but I know the laws change every so often. But local law enforcement as well, depending on the agency and their rules and policies, whether or not they tell ICE about you or then come into contact with you is totally up to them.
Gotcha.
As for your child in school, the law requires, even if you have let's say you brought your 6-year-old here and your 6-year-old is going to kindergarten, the law says it doesn't matter whether or not they're documented or not. They can go to school for free. I believe up to their senior year if it's a public school, I should say. Let me clarify that. A public school they can go to without any paying.
Gotcha.
But school, as you go to pick them up, sure. Anywhere that's made public, they can wait for you to pick you up. So that includes you going to the barbershop. That includes you getting gas. Wherever you are, you're basically going, even at nighttime, sometimes you try to use the cover of night. It takes a while.
That's wild. Yeah, that's kind of wild, man. So I'm
Yeah.
not safe going anywhere right now, except for in this house right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So the best
Okay.
course of action that we have now at this juncture, essentially, is to file a petition to try to get you residency here and to keep you off the public street. That's what we have now, and we can do next.
And then I might have to risk the court date.
Right. And
Okay.
and we can talk to the judge about that at a later time. If they can maybe have you appear through Zoom, that's what they did during COVID. So we can do that as well. That's an option that we can have and explore.
Okay. Got you.
Do you have any questions or anything for me?
Mr. Miller, step out for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best thing that you can tell your friends as well, don't fight. Your battle is in the courtroom, not in the streets. You're always going to lose in the streets, and you're always going to have risk injury in the streets because they're always going to win. So your best course of action to the iCloud. So in case they do take your cell phone, if they try to delete it, they can't because now it's in the iCloud.
Gotcha.
Or sent to a family member.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, appreciate all the help, man. Appreciate you coming out here. You drove to us.
Of course. This is what we do. You know, I didn't want to risk you getting apprehended or anything anymore, you know, so.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate you coming, Mr. Hendricks. Thank you for coming on such short notice.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so we could go ahead and chat a little bit. We'll see about this and let some of the other stuff go on from there. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
We go ahead and continue with the next section of this. Okay.
All right. Cool.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Of course.
Freeze. On my elbow, talk to the 6 deep. I know I'm tucking in the bed. Little lean, look red, oh, lay on thick. Look at me, look at that rose.